Welcome to my channel. Okay, so I forgot to hit the record button right away when I started inking, and thankfully I only realized about 3 lines in. It's October! Exciting time because it's time to draw lots of witches. I mean, I can draw witches year-round, but feels best to draw it now. Also, I ended up picking a fairly classical pose for this image, nothing special or unique, as my first witchy drawing of the fall. Technically, I drew this in September, way before October. Right now, I'm in the thick of drawing Inktober prompts, specifically one prompt list called Mystical Witchtober. Pretty fun. I just randomly, I think it was Imagine Effects that posted it on their Insta. Anyway, I'm posting nearly daily on my Instagram, and as writing this, I'm on track. So check them out there. And end of October or first week of November, I will be making a video posting, or showing off all the drawings, like a video format of that. This is actually the first time I'm participating, as I always late and busy and forgot by the time it rolled around. I feel late to the party on so many things. I might as well brand myself that unless it's been trademarked already. This whole process, like painting the witch itself, was a lot of fun. I even tried out the hot press Arches paper for the first time, and wow. So the first hot press paper I ever tried was fluid, I believe, and I think I described it as the texture of skin in one other video or something. It was very strange. I didn't really enjoy it entirely. Like, it's okay to work with, I'm getting more used to it, but the Arches hot press paper is just feels like normal paper. There's no weird kind of texture or any kind of weird pilling before it dries or something. Like the fluid one doesn't actually pill, but it almost looks like it will until it dries. It does some weird funky stuff. I don't even understand it, but yeah. So yeah, I would recommend Arches over fluid if you can afford it. I know it's pricier and stuff. I did see Bao Hong sells also hot press papers, but very small pads, at least through Amazon Canada. I don't know if they even sell bigger ones, but yeah, I guess I'll have to stick with the most expensive option when it comes to hot press for now. Okay, so the drawing itself went fairly smoothly. Inking, painting, all that. I love this paper. It's great, as I said. But the biggest struggle actually turned out to be the uploading of this. But I'll get into that in a moment. Yeah. The second fall hits, I just really love drawing witches, and so this was just more of I really wanted to try out the paper, and I wanted to just dive into some finished piece as well. But this is just like, I guess, a very simple pin-up, like a very, classic witch pose almost, but I wanted to play around with it, not to be very, samey as a lot of the way that the classic witch pose goes. So I was like, oh, it'd be more fun if her hat was blowing away, and then maybe even her cat was struggling to stay on because maybe she's going too fast on the broom. So that was kind of my take on I guess the more classic pose, just because I'm pretty sure I've seen a lot of artists, even in the past and present and whatever, draw this pose, but I was like, it's so fun. Sometimes classic poses are just fun to draw though, right? It's it's not really it's trademarked by anyone, so I just really wanted to get it out of my system. I was like, okay, even though, I'm pretty sure even in recent past I did draw a witch also in a similar pose, except I feel like I did a better job now than I did a few years ago. So, okay, now onto the chatty and ranty bits. I'll have these divided by chapters so it's not completely unhinged, I swear. The theme of the rant, honestly, is trying to make Windows and Apple work together. I actually did try and record this a few times without a script because I had thrown out my previous one, but I have a bad habit of slowing down, trying to get my thoughts together, and also going off on other completely unhinged tangents. So, I mean, I do like to do that anyway as practice, just to keep myself from going on tangents when I am speaking, because when I'm nervous also, I tend to do that during stuff like interviews or meetings and stuff like that, in places you really don't want to be going on tangents. Like, at least here I can edit them out, right? Anyway, moving on. As any days when I find I probably have a lot on my plate and a lot to get done, I'll make a to-do list. I'm not the type who hardcore follows these lists, but it's also good to lay it out and it feels less stressful, as you can imagine. I decided to start off my Sunday with doing what I thought would be the easiest, and that was transferring the video files from my iPhone to my PC of like the Switch drawing. Now, a side note, I normally like to film with my camera since it just plays better with my PC, unlike Windows and Apple, who like to cause small issues and hiccups here or there. Honestly, in the past, I had no real issues transferring videos and photos through my Apple device to my PC, connecting directly. Like, I think I only had one tiny little issue of a video missing, for example, from Fan Expo, but again, it was tiny and not a big deal. This time, however, I go and transfer the files, very basic copy and paste sort of format, but then to my horror, I realized 2 videos were missing. They weren't in the folder on my phone. I unplug and check my phone and they weren't there. And these were like the main chunk of me starting painting. Like, I think it was a good 50 minutes worth, so it was basically the entire middle. This is when everything started going downhill, to be honest. I duplicated the files on my phone, I slightly edited it, I cut them in half, nothing. Not showing up. I then tried to upload to my Dropbox, but it went astronomically slow. It felt like it went 1 kilobyte an hour or something. It was refusing to work this time. Yes, Apple users, I can hear you screaming, but what about iCloud? I disabled the auto-syncing feature of images and videos long ago since it kept syncing everything, and including on my iPad, and I just have like a stupid amount of screenshots and a lot of photos and videos of stuff I don't really need backed up. It's like all the photos and important stuff I wanted to were the things that were clogging up the iCloud storage, and then it would complain that was full and it couldn't back up and drive me crazy. So at some point I just shut it all off. But I did realize you could save a video to files, which is technically the iCloud storage or whatever as well. It said it is, and it would also so I initially tried to do this to save the file to the iCloud, but because it was still half full with some stuff in it, the file was too big because I had also filmed this in 4K, at least this portion. So at that point, I ran out of steam, and it was at the end of the day. I just divided up the videos in halves and saved one at a time, and then I transferred one at a time onto my computer, and after it transferred, that's when I deleted, and then I transferred another half and rinse and repeat and did that whole process, I think 4 times. Yes, I know, I could have just have paid at least 1 month for increased storage. Like, it's so damn cheap for 50 gigs, I see. But when you're at your wit's end and drained and you can't think straight anymore, I just was trying to keep myself from not checking my phone across the room in rage. Leads me into my other drama between Apple and PC. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like both, but for different reasons. The iPad is amazing for drawing, and I love the OS of the tablet a lot, and the phone, in my opinion, is great. Like, all that stuff, I enjoy it. I enjoy using both of those. For desktop, though, is where I prefer Windows. It's just more comfortable for me and feels like I can change out whatever I need or want if I need to upgrade it or whatever. For the user interface, I have been using a PC since I was a kid. I have used a MacBook before and it was fine, but I just didn't quite enjoy it as much. I feel less limited in that sense, especially since I had run into that problem just as we speak. I think I need to buy a larger hard drive since, wow, videos take up a lot of space. I don't save all the raw videos for the most part but even then, it's in space. It's especially insane when you're working with 4K. And actually, this other problem, it actually started Saturday. Me trying to figure out if I could use my iPad as a drawing tablet on my PC. I wanted to try this because I just got Clip Studio Paint while it was on sale. I'll go into more detail about why I had ended up getting it in another video, but yeah, I really kind of wanted more accessibility in terms of drawing actually directly onto my PC. A side note is I do actually have an Intuos drawing tablet. I've had it for 6 years. But you know, after 7 years, my just the way I work and stuff like that has changed. So, you know, it's like slowly starting to really need a change up of how I do things. And yeah, also with the added getting a program that I only did get it for my desktop because I didn't want to pay a monthly subscription fee. We're about to get into more ranting about subscription fees. So I look up how, if it is possible to, you know, use my iPad as a drawing tablet on my PC. I look it up and even watch a short video, and some guy explains there's an app called Dual something. I can't remember what it is, doesn't matter at this point. And there's a flat fee for the app, a $10 fee. I think the video was maybe a year old or something, so it's not, I figured that's not bad. It's probably fairly good, relevant information. I go in the App Store though and discover it recently switched to subscription fee like a month ago or something. Maybe it was even 6 months. I'm not sure, but it was definitely recent and within less than a year. This made me freaking livid. Like a subscription fee so I can connect my iPad to my PC like a third monitor, or that I can use it like a drawing tablet. Really? It's really bad enough, and it makes some sense to pay subscription fee for Adobe Suite. I mean, really, it doesn't feel like it makes sense since Illustrator works like garbage and just eats RAM. After Effects didn't even work with NVIDIA there for a while for no reason, but hey, keep paying the same price. And so many other garbage features that really need to be fixed up, but hey, whatever. You get some updates, I guess, but for just the luxury, I guess, for connecting devices together, it's insane to me. I believe like gatekeeping this feature behind a paywall, to me at least, seems insane. Yes, I also know there's AstroPad, which also costs money. I believe is even more expensive. It's like, I guess, paying a toll or something, but at the same time, like, imagine if Windows was charging you to connect a second monitor to your PC or something, or a second or you know, Apple was charging you to use a second monitor on that. It seems really weird because it's kind of almost like an extra monitor kind of thing. I don't feel like it should be something that should be monthly, because I believe I read in a lot of Reddit comments there's no real reason to have that, the connectivity. There's nothing to update, I guess, as far as I'm to understand, or there's nothing major to update, so, or anything that, you know, you would charge people money for. It feels like highway robbery, one of those like things where everybody's jumping on the subscription fee boat and they just decided to too, just so they can make more money off of it. Like, I hate that because, you know, Blender exists and it's a free 3D program and you can do so much with it, actually, more than just 3D animation and all kinds of stuff, right? And the devs that put so much work into it, or all the people who do, I mean, I'm so grateful, and I'm sure so many young artists and everybody starting out is, because I imagine paying $1,000 or more. I can't even remember how much the subscription fees for other 3D software. I know 3ds Max, I think I might have paid $2,000 for a year just to try it out, because the pirates were unhelpful. No, what pirates? No. Anyway. Yeah, so it's very pricey when you're trying to learn any of these 3D softwares. You can't really learn them in a month, and taking any schools would also cost you money. I mean, thankfully now there's stuff like Skillshare and stuff like that, but again, anything you do, you still kind of require the program to learn it. So yeah, so many frustrations that there are very robust programs that do take a lot of work and a lot of updates and a lot of effort probably to work, but they're free, like Blender. And then you've got, oh, you want to connect your iPad to your PC. No. I mean, I don't know, maybe there's an argument for it, who knows. What is your opinion on it? Do you think it's insane, or do you think it's acceptable to just accept everything as a subscription free fee? If only if it was a subscription free. So for now, when I need a tablet directly connected to my PC, I'll just be sticking with my Wacom Intuos one I've had for 6 years now. I may replace it with a Wacom one since I didn't even realize a more reasonable tablet with a screen came out. Wacom One, I believe it's called. Yeah, it's funny. I again looked a video about it, and some guy was talking about it, and he said $500. I just assumed he was talking about USD because most of the time, most people talking about products is always USD. And then when I went to check on Best Buy Canada, I saw it was like $3.99. I was like, no way. For the first time ever in my life, I find a product is actually somehow cheaper than what somebody was talking about in American dollars. Like, what's going on here? I don't know if it's like new, or it definitely wasn't a sale. Maybe I think it only said like a $20 sale or something, because in Canada, when we have sales on especially tech and expensive stuff, they usually are they're so cute. They're like, oh dang, they give us 5% off if that even. It's like, so yeah, that's my fun adventure of failing miserably making Windows and Apple play together. For the most part, my process is usually fairly painless and it works for me. But I suppose hitting a snag and wanting to streamline more, that whole process made me realize I need to rethink on backup plans on how to transfer things at the very least. I mean, you know, it's always a good idea to have backup plans and stuff like that, especially for transferring, because, you know, I wasted an entire day just because I didn't even think about that, and, you know, problems will arise. If you've gotten this far, thanks for watching and listening. Let me know if you guys also mix your Apple and Windows products and have any trauma, or is it very streamlined and you just have all Apple, or maybe just all Windows. Again, thanks for watching. I wanted to try a different format where I actually, you know, chat more about other things than trying to analyze and break down the artwork, but yeah.